what has in your career or like with through Mentor Dino, what is the one thing that has increased your maybe like confidence level as you are designing and as you are uh, going through your maybe day to day? Like, what has been one of the things that could be related to work, could be related to Mentor Dino, but like, what is kind of one of your high leverage activities that has make the greatest impact in your career? And while you think about it, I can tell you kind of maybe mine as an example. Uh, I tend to be a little forgetful and a little um, maybe running through the motions too much. And I think through the podcast, I've learned that a lot of people, and I think that's kind of one of the beauties that I've learned through the podcast is kind of their routines and like what are they doing to really make the most out of their careers. And I think for me, the biggest impact, honestly, like I could go. I couldn't go more than 2 or 3 days without doing this in the morning. It's just sitting down for 5 minutes, literally getting a piece of paper, a notepad or something, and start writing down what I need to do for the day. And time blocking, it's a little rigid for me because things come up during the day. But at least having like a plan for the day. Here are the things I need to do. Here's who I need to talk to, and have it as a little stand here on my desk that I can look at it throughout the day, and I'm aligned with what I need to be doing. And every time I get distracted, every time I maybe get a call and get distracted for a few minutes, I can take a look at that again. Okay, it's 10 a.m. This is what I need to be doing right now. Does it need to change? Do I have the plan ready? So that's kind of something that I started implementing, and I've learned it through the podcast, through other people doing it, other people like journaling, other people like different things. But I'm just kind of curious if you have anything like that that you have seen has made a great impact in your career.
Yeah, so there's probably 2 things, organization and listening.
Mhm.
Um, I am one that I tend to wanna give my opinion, for good or bad. Um, and so I've learned to sit back more and listen to understand and not listen to respond. Because oftentimes, you know, people will have heated conversations, whether you're in construction or in design, and voices can elevate and people can get stressed. But if you can be the calm person that is not just trying to solve the problem, but get consensus behind it, sometimes you just need to listen to understand, and it's okay to have the pauses, which can be very hard for people in a digital world. There are a lot of professionals that the second you want to pause and think, then they wanna fill the space with sound, and so it's very hard to do that when you're with those professionals, but that's why I tend to leave the camera on. Like, you could tell I was thinking, but
Yeah.
if I didn't have my camera on, you wouldn't know I was thinking. It's like, "Hello, are you muted? What's going on?" And
Yeah.
so teaching people those other cues are important, especially if you're not in person with everybody and you're virtual, making sure everybody in the room has their camera on so you can understand when other people are thinking and they can see when you're thinking or you want to say something. It's a little bit easier to speak up at the right time. So that's kind of the listening side. Organizing. I've been a good organizer, but at the same time then, I'll be disorganized. So I kind of have this weird balance, but to work full time alone, you need to be organized because we get so many emails, we're coordinating with so many people, different consultants, who you're talking to, and things can come at you at a moment's notice. So you kind of have to drop and get things done. But then running a podcast, having an ARE story a week, learning video editing. I post content on social media every single day, and I've been posting every day since like June of last year. And it's definitely trying to stay ahead and keeping a list and being organized, like you said, is very important, but understanding that your organization style doesn't have to be the same for everything.
Mhm.
So I have more like, this is my content list. I love printing it out. It's in a calendar form, and I can do just quick notes on where it's at. And I have different checks, meaning if I've created the content, if it's ready for social media, if it's already launched, it's good to go. But then my work calendar, I have it more in a standard book, and I have all the dates on one side and a running list to what's going on. So my head changes based on what I'm doing.
Mhm.
I've also had it change when I had two different product or projects, and I had a similar calendar track. Like design development went out only a couple weeks separate, and I did a calendar just straight week column in the middle, and it had the project lists on the side, so I could keep track on what I was doing, but I could always have those deadlines overlapping at the same time and understanding when somebody else on my team, because it was pretty much architecture and MEP were the same teams on the two projects. So understanding, hey, we need to get all this done so then you have time to work on the other project, or you have a day to just breathe
Mm.
after a deadline. So having an organizational structure and being okay that it'll change is important, but understanding when things need to give. So all of my mentor dino stuff, I'm 4.5 weeks out on content that's already done, scheduled, and I don't have to do anything. So if something happens with work, then I need to work late and I can get that done. Or I had water in the basement last week. Like, okay, guess I'm not doing something. I can run downstairs.
Mhm.
But something I've learned through podcasting is I like um, batch producing. So and I've learned that, and I've taken some of it to the construction side in architecture. So if I'm doing videos, I'll batch do videos back to back because I'm in a rhythm and I can roll with it. I have realized I can't really do that with podcast recording because I do just get tired from being on camera all the time. But the ARE stories, I'll do 4 of them all at once. So I'm in a sequence. I have a rhythm, they're all edited. Okay, now I do the image and do this, and I can fly a lot faster. And I've done that on the architecture side whenever I get different change orders and stuff. You'll get them in heaping emails worth, or you could deal with it with RFIs or submittals, and then blocking out your calendar. So then it looks like you're in a meeting, but it's, hey, I'm going to do all my submittals over these 3 hours. So hopefully you don't get pulled into doing something else. And your head can just be in that state and you're doing the same thing. And you're not trying to jump with different tasks, which is just as disruptive as if somebody calls you. So that's definitely something I've learned over last year, that I love doing things in batches and I can work a lot faster. So I've tried to take that over into the architecture side as much as I can. Like
Yeah.
some things you have to be more creative and abstract and you don't know where something's going to take you. So, but when you can, and I know it works for me, I try to do it. But staying organized is really important in this profession.